See the 4 people that can release Nnamdi Kanu. Only these 4 people can release Nnamdi Kanu. Justice Omotosho, Chief Justice of Nigeria, Attorney General of the Federation, Minister of Justice, and President Tinubu. These are the 4 Yoruba men that can release Nnamdi Kanu. All of them are Yoruba. The President is Yoruba. Omotosho is Yoruba. Chief Justice is Yoruba. Attorney General Yoruba. All of them are Yoruba. So Yoruba is not the one holding Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu's freedom, Nnamdi Kanu's life lies in the hands of Yoruba people now. Any of them here now has the right to release Nnamdi Kanu. President Tinubu has the right to release Nnamdi Kanu. The Attorney General has the right to release Nnamdi Kanu. The Chief Justice has the right to release Nnamdi Kanu. The Minister of Justice, Omotosho himself, the Federal High Court judge, has the right to free Nnamdi Kanu.
The judge is Yoruba. The prosecution team, all of them are Yoruba. The Attorney General is Yoruba. Mr. President is Yoruba. It appears that, for some elements within the Yoruba, community are looking at this as a new civil war between the Yoruba and the Igbos. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, but you're the one who's saying that.
No, but it's the reality.
No. Well, I mean,
it is the reality, Charles.
It depends on how you interpret.
No, but it is the reality.
Right.
Who is superintending the prosecution of Nnamdi Kanu? Is a Yoruba judge. It's not an Hausa
so you're saying that there is
Who is the prosecutor? Is the Yoruba prosecutor? Who are the prosecution team? Yoruba.
So you're saying that
the Attorney General is Yoruba.
Are you saying there is a conspiracy?
Absolutely.
Or there is the perception of a conspiracy? Which one are you talking about?
If you look at the way it is going, and they are resilient and adamant in seeing that Nnamdi Kanu is not given adequate provisions of time, adequate facilities, to ensure that he has adequate provisions for his defense. So if you see how it is going, one may have the perception that is a conspiracy.
You see, oftentimes when I say that Nigeria is not one, and I don't think Nigeria can ever be one, when I say this, some people do come for me. They say, you are negative about Nigeria, you are saying bad things, you are doing this, you are trying to disintegrate the country. They say all sort of things to me. But the truth is that it is better we divide the country with truth than keep the country together with lies. Oh yes, that is why I love the words of my dear friend James Mann. He said that a harmful truth is better than a useful lie. Oh yes. Today, I'm going to give you another evidence to show you that we are not in the same direction. Oh yes. What is this, if I may ask? This is the Bible, right? I'm going to read it out for you from this Bible. The scriptures, for those of you that are Christians, even if you're not a Christian, you can still believe, of course, you believe in the word of God. So this is the word of God. Let us read it together and see what I'm talking about now. If you open to the book of Amos, chapter 3, from verse 3, yeah, Amos chapter 3 from verse 3, it says, do 2 men start traveling together without arranging to meet? I ask you, do 2 men start traveling together without arranging to meet? I believe the answer you give is no, right? Very well. Now, how do this concern what we are saying? In 1914, the amalgamation that happened in Nigeria was not agreed by all. Oh yes. And that has been affecting Nigeria till date. It has been affecting because it seems very clear that both the South, the East, the North, these are different people going different direction. But unfortunately, the British came and tried to merge them together and tried to force them to go in one direction. Of course, I believe you wouldn't say I'm saying negative about Nigeria because this is the truth, this is the fact. Oh yes. Now, to cap it all or to make it worse, after the war, 1967 to 1970, they did the worst. After the Biafran War, they did the worst by marginalizing them, doing all sort of ill treatment to the point that they collected their money. They collected their monies and gave them 20 pounds each. What kind of ill treatment is that? And that has been affecting Nigeria till date. And that is why you will see when somebody becomes the president of Nigeria, he he will surround himself with people from his region. Oh yes. For instance, today, we have somebody from the Southwest as the president of Nigeria. If I may ask, who is the Chief Justice of Nigeria? Who is the Inspector General of Police? Who is the Defense Chief? Who is... Take all the top posts. Who are they? They are people from the Southwest. That is what we are saying. This simply means that, come on, we are not one. We are not going the same direction. We've not arranged this. We've not arranged this travel. We've not arranged this togetherness. But unfortunately, we found ourselves here. Now, in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, they have given judgment. And as you heard the young man say, who is the Chief Justice? Who is the President? Who is the Attorney General of the Federation? All these are people from one side. All these are people from one region. It's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. Well, let me allow you to listen to what Honorable Agocha said. Of course, this video was done after Nnamdi Kanu was sentenced to life imprisonment, which I know it is not the end. As I always tell you, it is not the end, because there's a lot of hope. Oh yes. Please listen to him. Then you do well to drop your comment in the comment section. My question in this video is this: do you think that Nigerians are going the same direction? The West, the East, the North, do you think that they are going in one direction? If not, drop your comment in the comment section. What you think, please?
Not just myself, trying to ask the government to intervene.
But those are two different things.
They were dismissive. They were insensitive to those pleas.
But aren't those two different things?
No, there are not two different things. Because, before now is Nnamdi Kanu. Who else before now has been convicted of terrorism charges in Nigeria?
No, what I'm saying is the case went through the court process.
The law, Charles. Yeah, I also appreciate that the case went through the court process. Because Nnamdi has been on trial literally for 10 days. So now he's gone through the court process, but within the law says in section 174 of the Constitution also gives the president the latitude through the Attorney General to invoke a null prosecute before determination of the case.
I understand that. What I'm saying is that there are two different things. I mean, what I'm talking about today is the legal process, not the political side of things, but the legal process where evidence had to be submitted in a court of law and it had to go through the process. I mean, what is your assessment? Because you were in court every day.
I was in court every day. There were certain things that they even came out today that I was hearing for the first time. And I was in court almost every time with the lawyers, with Nnamdi Kanu.
You mean what you were hearing the judge say?
As part of the judgment of the court.
Well, that's why there's an appeal process.
So yeah, but I'm happy now that before I left the courtroom, I spoke with the consultants who were previously lawyers to Nnamdi. And Nnamdi has also indicated that within the 90-day allowable, that he's going to appeal the judgment to the Court of Appeal. So the road is still long. So, but what I'm saying with that is to say to our people to remain calm and do not take the laws into their own hands and allow the court process to terminate where it should terminate back again to the Supreme Court. So that I don't want to see we wake up tomorrow morning and people are disrupting public services or people going about their businesses, trying to burn down houses and all those stuff. Those things are not necessary. What is necessary now is our prayers for Nnamdi Kanu, our prayers for his family, our prayers for Nigeria for that matter, and then our prayers for his legal team, so that God will give them the wisdom and courage to be able to put up an appellate brief that will now take to the appeal court and have the matter determined there.
And of course, you had to speak on his behalf today in court. I mean, live on television, everybody around the world watching you having to intercede because Nnamdi Kanu was removed from the court. He was ejected from the courtroom. And he had previously fired his lawyers, so he didn't really have any proper legal representation at that stage through his own sort of hand. The judge complained about how cocky and arrogant Nnamdi Kanu was throughout the duration of the case and even today. I mean, do you agree with his assessment?
No, I don't. I mean, if you have been put in solitary confinement for almost 10 years, Charles, you too will react in the same manner that Nnamdi Kanu reacted today. Yeah, it was unfortunate in certain quarters, but, you know, this is a man who's been pushed desperately to the wall, haven't been given any opportunities to adequately defend himself. You know, the judgment has come.
I don't understand what you mean by he wasn't given opportunities to adequately defend himself. I mean, he had lawyers, he fired them.
What facilities were he given to you? When you look at Section 36 of the Constitution, the Constitution makes it, you know, explicit what a defendant, the rights of a defendant in a criminal trial. Nnamdi was never given those opportunities. So the consultants may shed some more light there. There were times that were, you know, they were not allowed even to have access to their client, to be able to have discussions with their client, know how to plan their defense. Those things were not there. It was one level of frustration to another. That was why I was saying, I kept screaming that time that the way that the manner that Nnamdi's case has been handled and the rush to judgment appears that there are two sets of rules. I keep saying that.
Right, but let me ask you this. Having seen that, because I do recall you mentioning the fact, and it was actually in the public sort of space, that sometimes his legal team had a challenge trying to see him.
Very difficult challenges trying to see him.
Given that, how strange did it seem to you, and possibly in the annals of the law and legal jurisprudence, that Nnamdi Kanu himself then took it upon himself to fire his legal team?
Charles, also remember that as we talk, I'm not a lawyer.
No, I understand
I've never pretended to be one.
But what I'm saying is
fundamentally,
yeah, I mean, he was neither in court nor had any formal representation.
He has a right, fundamentally, to also, you know, defend himself.
No, I understand that, but I'm asking you in your capacity.
But he couldn't have arrived at that decision without any legal advice.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I'm asking you because of all the people that I know beyond his lawyers, you were very close to him. You spoke to him, you saw him fairly regularly. And I wondered whether or not he communicated to you the idea behind firing his legal team.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I think even when I was here on the show previously, we talked about it. I said I was not aware. Most of us came to court that day shocked and surprised at his decision to debrief his lawyers. But he couldn't have arrived to that decision without also the lawyers giving him legal advice. Him being declined, deciding that it was in his best interest to defend himself. You know, if for the benefit of hindsight, if I had known then, I would have advised him otherwise to have his legal team in place. But if you note the rush to judgment, Charles, whether he had a defense team or not, they would have still arrived at the same conclusion.
Right. Anyway, the point is that, as they say, we are where we are. But you are one person who has stood with him. And I think many Nigerians will commend you for that.
Thank you.
But all this must have left you emotionally drained because, I mean, you've invested so much of your soul in this case. How do you feel now?
Well, what I did was not extraordinary. It's what every representative
ought to do. But doesn't always do.
But doesn't always do it. So it's not something for accolades or anything, but it's something that if you swore an oath to represent a certain group of people, that you have to be there in the gap to speak for them and advocate for them. You know, no matter how terrible the circumstances, it's your responsibility to be able to do that. A lot of people see just in Nnamdi Kanu. I've also advocated for people who have lost their jobs in various agencies and parastatals, who themselves were dismissed for about 8 years, 10 years, and whose jobs are being restored through our public petition process. That is also part of representation. But for me, representation means being out there in truth, not defending false allegations, but in truth to say, this is my constituent, that especially in the administration of criminal justice, there seems an appearance of an injustice. Please, can we look into this? And when that injustice also leads towards, is more intentional, to be able to say, okay, we're definitely going to get you. We're going to get you. Well, can we seek a political solution, just like others have sought?
But yeah, but you still got room for a political solution.
I pray that we still do.
So that's something that you can still pursue. I mean, what
I'm saying, Charles,
right.
what I'm saying, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that many people are before the determination of their court cases, the government, entered a null prosecution on them. And the judgments, the trials never went to judgment.
Yeah.
So what was the rush to judgment? Because Nnamdi is Nnamdi Kanu.
The point is that that judgment has been delivered. Mm-hmm. So we've got to move from here. Mm-hmm. I mean, as I said, you yourself have made a lot of sacrifices for Mr. Kanu.
My sacrifice was for the good of Nnamdi Kanu.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
my constituent, it was for the good of my constituency, it was for the good of the Igbo race.
But is this the end of the road for you? Are you ready to bail out, or are you still fighting?
I'm staying till the last dog dies.
Right.
He is my constituent, and I will encourage him to continue to seek constitutional means, the legal process, to ensure that justice is also served.
And will you also caution him to check his temper, perhaps? I mean, it may seem like a trivial thing, but I mean, those kinds of things are in a very emotive situation.
It's a very emotional.
It can turn the tide of
today,
public opinion.
Even the judge today,
against him.
Yeah, but even the judge today, in his ruling, saw him as somebody who genuinely was also trying to help his people. When he talked about the Janjaweeds coming to the southeast to occupy our farms and all the stuff, that what he was actually trying to do was to defend his people. And I've always said that continuously, that Nnamdi Kanu's crime was about defending his people. Or even seeking for right of determination. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And yet a lot of his people were killed in the process of this.
But nobody alive today, Charles, has come to a court of law to say, I took directives from Nnamdi Kanu to kill Obi Agoche.
Yeah, but
nobody has done that.
I don't know about what I was going to ask you in that context. Is, do you expect the security situation in the southeast to improve or worsen as a result of this verdict and sentence?
It's going to get worse, especially in this Christmas
time. There'll be a noticeable change of pace?
No, it's going to get worse, especially in this Christmas period now.
How so?
Because a lot of people who themselves are busy enjoying the economics of high crime and criminality and banditry and assassinations are themselves using Nnamdi Kanu's detention as a front, that because of Nnamdi Kanu is there, then we are doing that. What we had expected was that if we had sought a political solution, then with you remove Nnamdi Kanu as a factor, then all those who themselves are involved in high crime and criminality in the Southeast will be known. And then we will begin to round them up and have a peaceful and stable Southeast. But now, with the judgment, I don't want anybody to begin to think that with the judgment, now Nnamdi Kanu is jailed, then the Southeast is porous and open for external aggression or otherwise. No, it's not going to happen. We're still going to defend our farmlands. We're still going to defend our women, our children. We're still going to defend our institutions, and now we're also going to defend our homeland, and by extension, defending the homeland of the Nigerian people. So, Southeast is a wake-up call for all of us now, for those in government to come together with the traditional institutions, with the business institutions, the clergy, and all of us. What is it that we want as a Southeast, and what are the next steps coming out from the conviction of Nnamdi Kanu?
Before I let you go, I don't know if you're aware of it, but Nnamdi Kanu's conviction was today mentioned in the U.S. congressional hearing on Nigeria, and it was described by one of the congressmen as a travesty of justice.
It is.
Are you encouraged by that as his legal team prepares to go on appeal?
It is a travesty of justice. I mean, not that if we say it, the heavens will fall. It is a travesty.
No, what I'm saying is that given that it came from the U.S. Congress.
Absolutely. There was a rush to judgment. We knew that. That's why when you said to me, was I shocked about the conviction? I said, no. Right. I expected it. There was nothing, whether we put up a defense or we didn't put up a defense, they would have arrived at the same conclusion. But we are happy to be circumspect, Charles. The international community are watching us in very multifaceted ways, looking at Christians, the genocide and extrajudicial killings of Christians, and the continued detention and trial, which has ended today, of Nnamdi Kanu. The international community are adamantly looking at it, and for me too, it was a travesty of justice.
Right.
But justice is not lost. So all I'm saying to our people is that wherever you are tonight, yes, I understand the sentimental and emotional turmoil that are going on all sides on this politically charged trial. But please remain calm.
Okay.
Remain calm and go about your businesses and do not destroy your properties, because I don't see people who are going to destroy other people. It's still your properties. If you're destroying them in the Southeast, it's our properties. But at the end of the day, God is God, and Nnamdi Kanu, through the appellate court, will receive the reprieve that he so seeks.
On that note, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Obi Agwocha represents Nnamdi Kanu's constituency in the National Assembly. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I forgot my
cap.
My cap. I feel like a naked chief.
Don't worry, it's a good thing to finally see your hair.
Now, what do you make of it? Drop your comment. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you very much, and may God continue to bless you.